You are watching Access LaPorte County Channel 97. Coming up next is the December 15th meeting for the Michigan City Board of Public Works and Safety. You can find more information for this meeting by visiting www.accessLaPorteCounty.org.
Good afternoon. I'll call to order the Board of Works and Public Safety meeting for Monday, December 15th, 2025. The time is 4 o'clock, and I'll start with a roll call. Mr. Simmons.
Present.
Ms. Tisdale.
Present.
Ms. Smith.
Present.
Ms. Moore.
Present.
Mr. York is here, and Attorney LePage.
Here.
Here. All right. My first order of business today is approval of minutes from our regular hybrid Zoom meeting on December 1st, 2025. Has everyone had time to review those, or any edits or changes that need to be made, or do I hear a motion?
Motion to approve.
Support.
Call for the vote. Mr. Simmons.
Aye.
Ms. Tisdale.
Aye.
Ms. Smith.
Aye.
Ms. Moore.
Aye.
Chair votes aye as well. Moving on. We have our first item on here is awarding of RFP. This is awarding of awarding a proposal for tree watering for spring 2026. This was tabled from our November 17th, 2025 meeting. Ms. LePage, are we going to vote tonight?
Yes, I'd like to present that to the board
Perfect.
now. You may recall several meetings ago, we opened proposals. Given the nature of how we procured it, we did not read the final award amounts so that we could still negotiate and if we needed to amend anything. So what I would like to do is read what we did have. So we had two bids. The first was from Tykel Excavating and Property Services, and the bid amount was in the amount of $129,107.50. The second was from B&M Builders LLC, and their amount was $386,430. I have gone over the proposals, and also our acting forester has reviewed. We both recommend right now the award to the lowest, who is Tykel Excavating and Property Services. And again, this would be paid from our federal tree grant as well.
Perfect. Any questions of Attorney LePage from the board? Or our city forester? I do see him out here. Thank you, Mr. Graff, for being here. Any questions from the board? Okay, I'm going to open up for public comment. Any public comment on this item? Any public comment on this item? Okay, hearing none, I'm going to close public comments. I believe you guys have heard from Ms. LePage. If you have any questions of Mr. Graff, he's here, or can we entertain a motion and go ahead and we got to get our trees watered?
Motion to approve.
All right.
Support.
Call for the vote. Mr. Simmons.
Aye.
Ms. Tisdale.
Aye.
Ms. Smith.
Aye.
Ms. Moore.
Aye.
Chair votes aye as well. Thank you both for working on that. I know that took a little while, and we've got a lot of trees out in our neighborhood, so that's a good thing. So, all right, moving on.
And just so that you know, that the watering is going to happen next year.
Yes.
This spring.
Yes.
Okay,
yes,
we're not watering
yes.
now.
No. We don't need to do that now. Yeah, absolutely. Our next order of business is personnel. The Human Resources Department is requesting the extension of FMLA for an employee. I do believe we have someone here from personnel to tell us what's going on.
Good evening. My name is Shantae Ivy, Assistant Human Resources Director. We are requesting leave for a extension of family medical leave for an employee until January 19th of 2026.
Perfect. Thank you. Any questions of Shantae? Ms. Ivy?
So this originally expired when?
The exhaustion of the 12 weeks was on December 10th of 2025.
And we would like to extend this to the 19th of January, 2026. So,
That is correct.
any further questions? Okay, I'll open up for public comments. Any public comments on this item? Any public comments? Going once, going twice. All right, close public comments. And would anyone like to, any further questions, or would anyone like to make a motion?
Motion to approve.
Support.
I'll call for the vote. Mr. Simmons,
Aye.
Ms. Tisdale,
Aye.
Ms. Smith,
Aye.
Ms. Moore.
Aye.
Chair votes aye as well. Thank you so much for
Thank
being
you.
here. All righty. Moving on. Next order of business is a contract. The approval of the 9th extension of agreement for government access channel programming, channel 97, public access channel programming, channel 99, and public access studio, ALCO, for 1 year in the amount not to exceed $150,000. Good afternoon, Mr. White.
Good afternoon, Board, and President York. Seems like only 4 years ago I was sitting in that seat about this time of year. But what you have in front of you is the 9th extension of our agreement with between Access Port County and the city. The original agreement was from 2011, and Amber has been a trooper the last 9 times and put together the paperwork necessary to extend and make any changes that are necessary. This year, there are no changes being asked for. It is the same amount as we have received for the past, I believe, 5 or 6 years, and just an extenuation of the services that we provide to the city.
Any questions of Mr. White and or Amber for the contract? Any questions? Amber, you've looked over everything. Everything's in order.
Yes.
Perfect. Any questions?
I guess, just for the public's knowledge, what is the very basis of
Perfect.
the meetings you cover for the city, the Board of Works, City Council, and then what do you do on top of what you are?
It's funny that you asked that, Ms. Ann Tisdale, because I've actually written down a few things. The boards and commissions that we cover for the city, and it's going to be just about 350 meetings strictly for the city of Michigan City, for all of the boards and commissions, the Common Council, Board of Public Works that we have done. So, I mean, basically, you're looking at about 1 per calendar day that we are working on. But then again, there are many days where we are doing 4 or 5. And I think one of the things that within the last couple of months, we've had several days where several boards and commissions have rescheduled, and it's never really taken into consideration when other boards and commissions have gone to 1 day. So I believe there were 5 different meetings that we were posed with capturing and broadcasting and archiving in 1 day, which obviously, when it's not something that we're used to, makes it difficult. But at the same time, it's about 356 boards and commissions that we've done in 2025 for the city of Michigan City. That is on top of the 185 that we will have done for the County of LaPorte. And then we've done 12 meetings each for Trail Creek, Long Beach, and Michiana Shores. And also this year we brought on Kingsford Heights to our roster, if you will. Along with the public access programming we also do parades, we do town halls, various different things. This year, we will have produced about 745 different productions. So our team of 4 full-time employees and 1 part-time employee do our best with the resources that are available to us to work with their municipalities and also the media outlets to make sure that the public has access to the information that they are deserving of.
Very impressive.
Any other questions of Mr. White from the board? Any other questions of Mr. White from the board? All right, I'm gonna open up for public comment. Any public comment on this item? Any public comment on this item? I see 2 people moving. Which one's getting to it first? All right, come on. All right.
Hello, Board. Scott Mellon, 200 Kevin Place. I would only like to point out what a tremendous service ALCO provides. I'm glad he brought it up at the end, but there's special meetings, there's workshops. And it's, I've spoken with Drew. This is not journalism. This is documentation of very dry municipal meetings. but many people are saying, It's a valuable service. It's somewhat unappreciated that this is a great record for all the people to have and for shut-ins to see what's going on. The national press gets all the attention. It's this local stuff, these local boards that affect most of us at a greater impact on a day-to-day basis. You know, when the garbage is getting picked up, when the streets are going to be closed, when we're going to get rid of flashing stoplights, but that's another matter. But anyway, Alco does a great job. I'm actually surprised, and I recommended last year, they should get a bump. I know money's tight, but they haven't had an increase in their contract for, I believe, 5 years or thereabouts. I don't know exactly, but given inflation, they've actually taken about a 25% haircut over the last 4 or 5 years while providing greater services. So I don't know if it's too late to adjust anything, given that our budget is locked, but I think it's something we should appreciate more. I think Drew and his folks are sort of unsung heroes in the area. Thank you.
Any other public comments? Any other public comments?
Good evening, Board. Dakota Euler, 718 Emma Street. I'm just here to, again, speak highly of Access LaPorte County. And, you know, just to highlight the technological foresight they had back in 2011 of archiving these meetings. I know in 2023, House and Road Act 1167 made it a requirement for these meetings to be live streamed and then archived. And so much commends to them for having that foresight. And the dedication that they have to serve the community. I know we see Drew here many times, 3.5 hours into a meeting and ready to go for another hour at that. So much thanks to all of his team and thanks to the city for making sure that we have this. Thank you.
Any other public comments?
Eric Williams, Michigan City Special Events. Just wanted to say, on top of that incredible number of meetings that they do, they are at every single event we do. Drew has us on all the time to talk about events. So a great partner to the city that they've been, an incredibly hardworking team, and they definitely deserve the extension.
Excellent. Anything online? Any other public comments? Going once, going twice. All right, I'm gonna close public comments. Any other further comments from the board, or do I hear a motion?
Yes, I'd like to go on record stating that I think Drew and his team serve a valuable service to the community.
Yes.
And I'd like to commend him for the job that he spearheads.
Thank you, Mr. Simmons. We're a team.
I also would like to commend you and have a question. Do you have any technological advanced updates that you're planning at all?
It's funny that you asked that, Ms. Moore, but I believe in 2026, you are going to see some big improvements in our infrastructure. It's funny that we mentioned 2011, but some of the stuff that we still use is from the early 2010s, and it is in need of replacement, and we've been hoping and trying to be able to get that replacement done, but there are going to be some upgrades that I am hoping that we're going to be able to actually roll out shortly after the beginning of the year. That's going to improve our product even more. Some of it has to do with making our channels available beyond, a lot of people think of us as public access television because we do operate channels on channel 97, 98, 99 on Comcast cable, but in 2025, many people have cut the cord and do not subscribe to Comcast cable. But I anticipate that within the first quarter of 2026, you will be able to see Access Port County programming on Apple TV, Amazon Fire, and Roku devices, as well as able to see them on the internet. Right now, Channel 97 has been able to be viewed on the internet for the last, I want to say 6 or 7 years, but 98 and 99 in both Michigan City and LaPorte have only been available to people who just subscribe to Comcast cable in Michigan City or LaPorte. But with these upgrades, They will be viewable by people, basically anywhere that, they have access to the internet.
It's awesome. Thank you, Drew, for everything you do. I know I frustrate you sometimes, but I really do appreciate all the things you do for us.
Comes with the territory.
I feel like every time I have a conversation, you're frustrated at me. No, thank you. Seriously. You could provide valuable value to Michigan City and our residents. All right. Any questions? Any further questions of Drew? Can I entertain a motion?
Motion to approve.
Support.
Call for the vote. Mr. Simmons?
Aye.
Mr. Tisdale?
Aye.
Ms. Smith?
Aye.
Ms. Moore?
Aye.
Chair votes aye as well. Thank you, Drew. All right, moving on. Next order of business, we have a contract. The Special Events Department is requesting the approval of an agreement of premier level sponsorship from Arnett Construction for the 2026 event season in the amount of $20,000. Good
Good
afternoon.
evening again, Board. Eric Williams, Michigan City Special Events. As you said, Arnett Construction will be returning for the 2026 event season as our premier partner in the amount of $20,000. Beyond that, they were great partners for us this year. They were active at all the events. They did a raffle at the Easter egg hunt, giving out 2 free bikes and 2 large Easter baskets, booth space at the Singing Sands. They were the ideal example of what you would want out of a title sponsor. So I would definitely recommend approving Arnett Construction for the 2026 season.
That's great. And then remind us, or do we have a goal this year for 2026 or for next year?
We didn't hit 100 this year, so I think until we hit it, it's got to be the goal.
Okay.
I would say the goal is to surpass that. I think between Terry and I, if we don't go over 100,000, I think we'll be disappointed. So
Okay.
I'd say surpass 100,000 is the goal.
I think you'll hit it this year.
I hope so.
Questions of Mr. Williams? Any questions?
How much did you hit this year?
Good question.
86.5. So
Oh, you're pretty close.
pretty close.
Yeah. Any questions of Mr. Williams?
Mr. Williams, being a title sponsor, what does that entail?
So the title sponsor, again, they give us the $20,000 to have that right. We offer them naming rights for the Singing Sand Sand Sculpting Festival and Oktoberfest. They get 2 community challenge teams. So they, for example, 2025, they chose Michigan City High School Athletics. They came out and built sand sculptures at the Sand Festival. And in that, we donated $2,000 to the Michigan City High School. They also get the naming rights for the music stage at Oktoberfest, as well as advertising at all the events.
Is it possible to have more than one title sponsor?
Last year we had the Convention and Visitors Bureau. They also did $20,000 for us, but they allowed us to give Arnett the naming rights for the events.
Perfect.
And
Keep going. Good questions.
was the sponsorship the same price last year as this year?
Yes, yeah, we didn't increase any prices, so same dollar amounts. Mhm.
Maybe you should.
So anyone out there listening, they do accept other 80. We need $80,000. That's it. Oh, fine.
Thank you.
Amazing benefits that you get. Any further questions of Mr. Williams on this item before I open it up for public comment?
Yes, I'd like to also go on record to commend Terry and his team. They're doing an outstanding job for the city. I think he's taking it to another level.
Yes.
And we're all proud of him.
Yes.
Thank you.
Christmas parade was awesome.
Thank you.
So, open up for public comments. Any public comments on this item? Any public comments on this item? Anything online? Okay, I'm gonna close public comments. Any further questions of Mr. Williams? If not, can we entertain a motion?
Motion to approve.
Support.
Call for the vote. Mr. Simmons.
Aye.
Mr. Tisdale. Ms. Smith.
Aye.
Ms. Moore.
Aye.
Chair votes aye as well. Thank you so much, Eric.
Thank you.
Okay, moving on. Our next order of business is a special purchase request. The Vector Control Department is requesting the special purchase of a salt hopper spreader with ARPA funding for a total amount of $6,299.00. Good afternoon.
Good afternoon, Sean Smith, Michigan City Street Director. The Common Council recently approved through ARPA funds $78,000 for the Vector Control Department to purchase a truck, which they did, and in actuality, purchased a 2025 Ford F-550 Crew Cab at $70,829.75. At that time, we also requested for a front plow, which is no longer needed because we're going to take one from our current inventory and outfit the truck. With the remaining balance, I think it's $7,170. We would like to purchase a salt spreader, 2-yard salt spreader to actually go on this truck at $6,299. We received a quote from Pyramid Equipment. I believe that's attached to this. So.
Any questions of Mr. Smith? Or Director Smith, sorry, Director Smith. Any questions of Director Smith? Okay. I'm so sorry. Ms. Smith, we have the money for this,
We do.
correct?
They were allocated ARPA funds for the truck, and the remaining balance is left that will cover this instead of getting the plows, like he said. I had another question. Did you get another quote? Other than, or did you just,
No, this is the only quote that was given to me, the one from Pyramid.
I think they might need one more.
Oh, yeah.
Well, what I was asking, Tamiko, is did you get a special government discount or something on it? Because that's how it's appearing under this request, is that there was some special kind of discount or discounted pricing.
I believe that would be through Sourcewell. I don't actually have the actual Sourcewell bid quote in front of me.
But you did go through a government,
Correct,
a
yeah.
governmental pool. They
Yeah.
pooled it and then you get a better deal on it.
Yes,
So you got a direct quote from somebody from that pool is essentially
Yes.
what it is.
yes.
Gotcha. You okay with this, Amber? Okay.
You mean the certified of debark? Yeah, you do need it. I told him that.
I didn't see it.
It's not in there. So, the only thing that I know that we're gonna need is that certification of, non-disbarment as well, because I don't see it in here, and I know he.
We do have it. I'm sorry, I didn't include it in your thing.
Okay, because I knew I
Yep.
would ask for
Yep,
it.
I have it right here. Yep.
Thank you.
Okay. You're all good. Any questions, Mr. Director Smith, about about the spreader right at this point from the board? If not, I'm going to open it up for public comments. Any public comments on this item? Any public comments on this item?
Sorry, actually, I do. Scott Melantura, kind of place. It sounds like a good use of the money to fully equip this F-550. It's sort of related, but I have this question. Last year, I believe we leased 3 large trucks for wintertime snow removal. I wanted to hear how that worked out and if we needed to do it this year, because I don't recall it crossing the plate. And is that because we got equipment in the intervening year where we didn't need to lease extra equipment? Because that sounds like a success story. We leased some things, we got through a winter, and we didn't have to do it again this year. Just want some confirmation of that. That's
Yeah, I just want to deal with this item right now.
sorry, I
and
know it's
then-
a little off
No, you're
topic.
good. Let's deal with the item at hand, and then maybe we can have you come back. Maybe come back after the first of the year and give us a report. Would that be doable? Let's deal with the item at hand. Is that okay? Any other public comments with the item at hand? Any other public comments? Okay, I'm gonna close public comments. Any further questions from the board for Director Smith? Okay, may I entertain a motion? Anyone?
Motion to approve. We certainly need another salt piece of equipment.
Support. Call for the vote. Mr. Simmons.
Aye.
Miss Tisdale.
Aye.
Miss Smith.
Aye.
Miss Moore.
Aye.
Chair votes aye as well. And then if we can have you come back and address maybe at some next Board of Works meeting or something of that nature. Thank you, Director Smith. Give him some time to prepare his thoughts. Okay, our next order of business is insurance contract renewal. High Street Insurance is requesting the approval of the 2026 renewal of insurance policies for the Singing Sands Trail. So just making sure I wasn't seeing double there. It's okay. Charlie, the floor is yours, Charlie.
Good afternoon.
Good afternoon.
Here today to seek formal approval for the liability policies for the Singing Sands Trail. Quick history to refresh the memories. Back in 2017, the city entered into agreements with the South Shore Railroad, Amtrak, and NIPSCO. I'm not sure those were all entered in 2017, but they created the need for additional liability coverage for the Singing Sands Trail. And so we had to go out and procure additional policies. So,
you remember?
In the packet, I included kind of a summary of insurance, a very quick summary. I'll review. Primary liability, $1 million, $2 million occurrence. The first layer excess coverage, $5 million, each occurrence and aggregate. Second excess layer, $4 million, excess of $5 million. So the combination of those three policies gives you a total of $10 million, which is required by contract.
Yeah.
Annual premium, $53,085.96. And that's up just under 3% over the prior year. Are there any questions?
Any questions of Mr. King? Okay. Okay. I'll open up for public comments. Any public comments? Any public comments on this item? Any public comments? Once, twice. All right, I'll close public comments. I don't have any questions if the board doesn't, any thoughts, questions of Mr. King? I know this is something we have to do because we touch them and cross their railroads. So our trail does. So
we actually use an easement, I believe.
Yeah. Yeah. Yes.
I think and feel that it's very necessary.
Yeah.
What is terrorism premium? I mean, what does that look like? Yeah.
So the terrorism premium, I included in that total premium, $1,812.21. So that would give you coverage, or it does give you coverage for any kind of certified act of terrorism.
Okay. Is that what you were getting at?
It's a good question. It's the board's option to exclude that.
I don't want to touch that.
Yeah.
So
I usually give advice on that.
or give an example of an act of terrorism against this trail.
Oh, is it against the trail or against the city or against probably all the above?
Yeah. I mean, yeah, you're kind of getting into some pretty gray area. But yeah, it would have to be some kind of act of terrorism that maybe happened on the trail. So you could use your imagination. Yeah. We live close to a pretty large city. So I don't make the recommendation anymore that you should not buy it. So yeah, you could potentially.
Yeah, it's $1,800. I think it's worth the $1,800 we pay. So good questions though. Any further questions of Mr. King? Any further questions from the board? Mr. Simmons, you got any questions? You good? We live in weird times.
It's the society in which we live.
Yeah. Anyone like to make a motion?
Make a motion, we approve.
Support.
Call for the vote. Mr. Simmons? Aye. Ms. Tisdale?
Aye.
Ms. Smith? Ms. Moore?
Aye.
Chair votes aye as well. Thank you, Mr. King.
Thanks. Merry Christmas.
Merry Christmas. All righty. Our next order of business is a road closure for construction. Marcus Electric is requesting to close the Franklin Street Bridge to perform annual maintenance on the bridge from January 1st, 2026 through March 15th, 2026. Good afternoon.
Good afternoon.
Tell us a little bit, just give us a rundown on what's happening, what we're doing, and things of that nature.
So we would like to close the bridge on January 5th, that is after the Festival of Lights, and we will have it closed until we finish the repairs. And we have every intention to finish the repairs before March 15th.
That would be awesome.
It will be done before March 15th.
And this is just the annual routine maintenance that
Annual
we do
routine
every year.
maintenance.
Cool. Any questions of Mr. Cooley?
Yeah, I think we did the same last year,
Yes.
if I'm not correct.
Several years.
Yes.
Any further questions from the board of Mr. Cooley? Okay, I'll open up for public comments. Any public comments on this item?
This is Tommy Kolovic from 1316 Ohio Street. Just wondering why the Board of Works has to approve this. I think, as we all know, the Franklin Street Bridge is under the jurisdiction of the LaPorte County Highway Department. I should know that very well. I just want you all to know for the record, back in 2009, I actually interviewed to be the bridge tender for the Franklin Street Bridge. Jumped through all kinds of hoops, only to learn they ended up giving the job to the wife of former county commissioner Mike Bahachek, and he's the state senator now. So, I don't think much of Mr. Bahachek, but it's well, at least he voted against the redistricting. But I just wonder why we have to approve that. They should say we're going to close the bridge for the maintenance.
Any further public comments? Any other public comments on this item? Any other public comments? Anything online? Yes, our road still crosses the bridge. So yeah, that's why. Any other public comments? Anything online? Okay, I'm gonna close public comments. Any further questions of Mr. Cooley? I do know you guys have worked on this bridge numerous times. You're probably the authority on the bridge, honestly. Any questions of Mr. Cooley? If not, can we entertain a motion to start on the 5th? So it'd be the 5th through March 15th, 2026.
Correct.
And it will be completely closed. I believe you guys intend to
Completely
put
closed.
barriers, fencing, et cetera around.
We'll have Jersey blocks blocking both sides, along with the 6-foot fence blocking both sides. The detour is posted, working with the county on that.
Mr. Warner, I'm gonna ask one question before. You've reviewed said plan, closure, you're okay with the detours and everything of that nature?
Good.
Perfect. Mr. Smith, our Director Smith, you're good with everything? Captain? Yeah, okay, cool. All righty.
Motion to approve.
Support.
Call for the vote. Mr. Simmons? Aye. Ms. Tisdale?
Aye.
Ms. Smith?
Aye.
Ms. Moore?
Aye.
Chair votes aye as well. Thank you.
Thank you for your support.
Okay, next order of business is a road closure for construction. Bendix Builders LLC is requesting the closure of Lake Ave from Arndt Street to Felton Street, December 22nd, 2025 to December 29th, 2025 for a sewer main connection. Is anyone here from online, maybe? Anyone here from Bendix Builders? Engineer Warner, have you reviewed this? I think this is for the new house they're building right there.
Yeah, it is.
Yeah.
Tim Warner, city engineer. Yeah, sanitary district had an issue with the sewer there, and so I think they went when it needs to be tapped, that they might have to replace some pipe there, so it needs to be closed more than one day so that they can get it done. So John Gorsica is out today. Otherwise, I'd have had some notes from him, but they delayed it a couple of times already, I think. So this is fine. We're fine with the closure. It doesn't really affect a lot of traffic since Washington Park Boulevard is further to the north.
Okay. I was wondering what the extended closure, so that makes sense. There's something they're replacing as well.
Right.
Okay. Any questions of Engineer Warner about this project or about what we're doing there? Any questions from the board? Any questions from the board? Okay. Any public comments on this item? Any public comments? Okay, I'll close public comments. Mr. Warner, you've worked with them on rerouting traffic, all that. So, I mean, it's pretty gridded down there. You can kind of get around
Yeah,
everything.
it's just a block to the west, the north, and back south on either direction. So they're just going to have each end of the block closed, and people can go around one block to the west.
Perfect. Okay. Any further questions of Engineer Warner, or do I entertain a motion? Anyone like to make a motion?
Motion to approve.
Support.
Okay. Call for the vote. Mr. Simmons?
Aye.
Ms. Tisdale,
Aye.
Ms. Smith,
Aye.
Ms. Moore.
Aye.
Chair votes aye as well. Thank you, Mr. Warner, for reviewing that and giving us a recommendation. Don't go anywhere. Our next order of business is a request for a flashing stop sign. Ann Herrick, I hope I pronounced that right, Herrick, 203 East Homer Street is requesting flashing stop signs at the corner of Homer Street and York Street due to people not stopping fully at the intersection. Is Miss Herrick here today? I thought I saw them online earlier. I believe I saw her online, but I don't see her there now. Am I correct, Drew? Correct. Okay. Have you had time to review this? And I see Captain coming up here too. So I do know there's a four-way stop there already.
It is a current four-way stop there, and as the request states, she wants it done due to people not stopping fully at the intersection. I don't see where adding flashing lights to a red stop sign is going to keep people from rolling through a stop sign, but that's just me. If we put in the light for the flashing lights there, it's a residential neighborhood. I wouldn't be too happy having flashing red lights flashing all night long in my neighborhood either, but that's just me. I don't see where it's adding the flashing lights is going to keep people who are rolling through a stop sign not coming to a complete stop is going to make any difference. If they're not stopping by law completely, they're not going to stop by law completely when the flashing lights are going either.
Perfect. Captain, did you have some comments you'd like to make? I saw you coming up here, so give me time.
Hello. Since January 1st, 2020 until December 10th, there was 0 accidents at that intersection. And there was also 0 calls for service indicating any type of traffic stops for violations as well. Spoke to her the week before she put in her request. To my knowledge, that's the only complaint that's been out there about that stop sign as well. So I told her that we would keep it in mind in patrols, but I don't have any stats to show that there are issues there for causing accidents or other officers stopping cars for doing the same stuff.
Okay, that sounds good. Yeah, I think I would prefer not to put flashing lights in neighborhoods. That might be not the best of practices, but any questions of Engineer Warner or Captain?
No, I just think this warrant vigilant attention from the district units working at. If a citizen have a complaint in your district, it falls upon the district unit to at least make passes by or sit a few minutes, and it's police 101.
Yeah. We have flashing lights downtown and people still roll through them. So not naming anyone, but any questions, any further questions before I open up for public comments? All right, I'm open up for public comments. Any public comments on this item?
Yes, Tommy, this is Tommy Kolavic, 1316 Ohio Street. I priced these doohickeys out there. I think they're like on eBay, they're like $1,800 a piece. So we're talking $7,200 worth of infrastructure there. I know we got 4 of them right there on the corner of Ohio and Barker Avenue, right where I drive by probably several times a day. Usually have some of them are hardly function half the time. Sometimes they're flashing, sometimes they're just solid. Sometimes they might blink. Now those solar panels have to stay clean. It's just be more for the Chong in the street, his crew to have to maintain. So I just think we need to quit buying those and just deny this.
Any other public comments?
About the floors, Scott Melantor, Kendall Place. Engineer Warner brought it up, but flashing lights in a residential area would be very, very distracting. And I certainly hope the board does not approve this request. Thank you.
All righty. Any other public comments? Anything online? Okay, I will close public comments. Pleasure of the board, or do you have any further questions for Captain Jesse or Engineer Warner?
Motion to decline.
Second.
Call for the vote. Mr. Simmons?
Aye.
Miss Tisdale?
Aye.
Miss Smith?
Aye.
Miss Moore?
Aye.
Chair votes aye as well. All righty. Official correspondence today. We have received correspondence from the Michigan City Police Department regarding the retirement of Officer Shane E. Washluski. I hope I pronounced that right. Washluski, who served 21 years on the Michigan City Police Department. Their last day will be January 5th, 2026. And I would just like to say we appreciate their service. Would anyone else like to say any comments?
I would just like personally thank him for his years of service.
Is there anything else I need to do with that one, Miss LePage? So we're good enough? Okay. And congratulations on retirement. Alrighty. Update. We have an update on year-to-date statistics for the building department. Now, we had some questions regarding this at our last meeting, and I do believe we have Mr. Albers here to maybe give us some statistics and answer some questions. Good afternoon.
Good afternoon. David Albers, Superintendent of the Building Department. So we've had a very busy year, and bringing Cloud Permit up and online has been not without its speed bumps, but a general success. So things are flowing much faster now. We're very happy with that. I have some statistics just to share with you. To date, we've received and reviewed 2,834 permit applications. Of those, we have issued 2,330, and I can provide these all to Isabel just for the record. Our average turnaround day, so that's from the time that it gets submitted to the time that it gets issued or rejected, is 10 business days, or 10.5 actually. So that's over the course of the entire year, keeping in mind every different type of permit category has different review times. Commercial buildings will take up to possibly 18 days, where a roofing permit can get turned around in a day or two. So we have it broken down by categories too. I can share that if need be. But just wanted to share those, the primary, the year to date, and it's just the numbers. So 2,330 permits have been issued. We've registered 834 contractors and received 2,834 applications. That doesn't include the contractor registration applications, which also has to be reviewed. I want to acknowledge our team, Sue Downs, the building commissioner, Tawanda McCline, our administrator, and Ferris Khalil, our permit specialist, along with our inspectors, Jim Buchanan and Keith O'Sara. They've done a great job, I think, handling with a fairly small staff, handling a large amount of work. So I'll take any questions that you guys.
Mr. Albers, what are the things that slow down a building permit when they're submitted? Just because you put an application in, that's simply an application. What are the things that that are needed to? What helps to make it go through faster?
I would say the more information, the better. So a lot of times what draws out the review times is when we don't get enough information, we don't get proper drawings that show you receive a number of drawings or documents that just are not even legible, let alone applicable or understandable. So we then have to reach back out to the applicant, and that can turn into a very long process. We always encourage people that they can come down to City Hall and meet with us if they have any questions or need any assistance. We have a kiosk as well for those that had trouble with Cloud Permit at the beginning. And we have a kiosk here at City Hall that we can help walk them through as well. But it's providing accurate drawings. For anytime, if you're going to put up a fence, we need a site plan that shows lot lines and dimensions and those types of things. So plans with dimensions and details, the more details, the better, the faster that it'll get approved with the more information that we have.
And then all that's done through Cloud Permit, the discussions back and forth. So
Right.
we have,
And it's all tracked as well. We can message the individuals through Cloud Permit. That is all tracked. So when someone says, I've been waiting for 3 months for a permit, we can go in there and see when they actually submitted, when we told them that we needed more information. And that's all kept in an audit log within the system.
perfect. Thank you. Answer my questions. Any questions, Mr. Albers, from the board?
that you're waiting on documentation a lot of the time?
Yes.
Drawings, et cetera. Is that explicitly stated on the permit that that's required?
Yes, yeah.
And they
and you-
just don't do it?
Yeah, you can't submit it without attaching the documents that are requested. We are working on putting more guidelines up on the website that can help people better understand what all should be submitted and the detail of which should be on those documents. So we're creating those as it comes up and the need presents itself.
Ms. Moore, you had a question earlier. I think is a good question. It was, what if they just cut off communication and don't finish? Do we purge that, or is there a certain, how many bites of the apple? How many times do you get to submit, or how much time do you get to submit or finish your application? Yes, what's the
I
question?
mean, if they stay engaged in trying to, present, basically, if they go dark for a period, let's say 2 months, and we haven't heard from them, we will send them a notification that, hey, we haven't heard from you in this amount of time. You have until X date to give us what we've asked for or to reply. At which time, if you don't reply, then the application gets rejected. So then it's marked as such in our system. But we don't really have a defined, you must do it in this certain amount of time. It's really up to our discretion. But really 2 months, if they haven't provided any more feedback or answered questions, we give them one more opportunity to do so. That's usually about a 2-week notice. And if they don't respond, then we reject the
So basically about 2.5-ish months, as long as they cut off communication.
Right.
Okay.
Correct.
So is it due to past practice? I mean, I guess you good. I guess my question is the city planning building department, are we asking for more information than other cities ask for?
That's possible. It's possible that, well, I think all cities ask for the information, whether it's reviewed, and given much time in review is subjective. We're told that a lot of other municipalities will just take the application, look at it, stamp it approved, and move on. That then leaves the applicant, homeowner, contractor, or whatever, vulnerable to getting the project held up during inspections. So if someone submits something and there's something wrong on the drawings or whatever, the plan review is our time to catch it before you start the actual work, and prevent you from having more delays in the middle of construction, because our inspectors, if they go out and they catch something that's just glaringly wrong, they're not going to pass it. And so that can result in delays in the actual construction process.
Well,
So-
we hear so many times from our residents who get up and speak, and they think that on some of these projects where there might be a street closure required or sidewalk closure or something. And I know we had one at the last meeting, and we approved what they were asking for contingent upon them getting their permit.
Right.
And the general conception is like the city's dragging their feet or doing something that hinders and slows down these projects. So I just kind of wanted to have a clear understanding, of what that process is. So if you give us garbage, right, you get garbage out. You
Garbage
can't
in.
process or
Correct.
determine what you need to if you don't have the correct information.
Right.
Because again, we've heard time and time again, we're making this process harder. And I'm just trying to make sure we're not.
Yeah.
And that what we ask for is the normal things that you would require if you want to permit or whatever you need.
Right. And for a project that would be, involve a demolition of any sort, where you're going to have sidewalk closures, building closures, you're going to be shutting down alleyways, that impacts not just that building, but then the surrounding areas too. And so we look at it from a holistic view of how is it also impacting the neighbors. No, we're not going to allow you to place a dumpster right in the middle of the alley, because then that's going to cause problem for city services and residents. So we will provide that response, and what we do is and you can note it in Cloud Permit as changes have been requested. So we will review the application or the detail. We'll say this needs changes. We will mark that as such. They get an email notification. that we've requested changes or additional information. And then from there, it's on them to respond.
Thank you.
Don't know if this is the appropriate question at the moment, but another thing that we hear a lot of are red tags. And I'm being red tagged to death and people stop doing things. Can you address that, or is that?
The red tag will happen if someone is working without a permit. So that's by code enforcement. Code enforcement will go and red tag a project if they find that there's work that's going on and they have not pulled a permit. Some people are trying to subvert the permit process. Some have said that it's too difficult or whatever, which is interesting because we're open every day, 8 to 5, 8 to 4. We're always here to help, and we spend a lot of time helping people that needed to get a little bit of training. Not only does Cloud Permit have tutorials and videos and all of that, but then we are also here physically in the building, can help people. So the argument that, it's too difficult to obtain a permit in Michigan City, I strongly disagree with. A lot of municipalities use these online systems. Yes, there might be a slight learning curve. But it's, for the most part, I think the numbers speak for themselves. We've issued, to the year. Now, this is just Cloud Permit, the 2,800, and the 2,300 permits that we've issued. There's another probably 200 that were issued through the old system. So, that's still around about 200 permits a month that we're issuing. So that those numbers kind of speak for themselves. But the red tag is when people are working without a permit, then they will get red tagged until they come in and fill out a permit application or go online and fill out a permit application. It gets approved.
So you said your current average is about 10 and a half days, which is encompassing of all the different permitting processes.
Yeah.
Do you have a goal that you're trying to get down to?
Definitely. So it depends. On a commercial building, it shouldn't be longer than 10 business days.
Okay.
For a roof siding, windows, and doors permit, that should be 3 to 4. If we have the information, it should be really quick. If there's more information that we need, then that tends to draw it out a little bit more. But keep in mind, that's also the 10 days is over the course of the entire year. On average, I averaged all of them, the review times. We've gotten that number in recent couple months down to about 5.8 days. So we continue to improve on the review times.
Well, and I'm sure it comes from the very beginning when everybody was trying to figure out the cloud permit.
Right. Yes. Yeah. There were some speed bumps
Yeah.
at the beginning for sure.
Okay. So you said about 5-ish days?
About 5.5 days now. Yeah.
I think people are getting better with their drawings too. They're actually learning what we want to see, what we need to see, because it's different than the old way when we just had paper. Even back then, we didn't get good drawings. So it's like if we can just get the right information, we can process quicker. So,
right.
Any further questions of Mr. Albers?
But our whole intent is to expedite, correct? Without missing something that should be included.
That's correct.
In the process.
Yeah. Our primary concern is public safety, and also the safety of the buildings that these people are inhabiting, either for their own dwellings or whether it's an apartment or whatever that might be. That's the primary concern is safety. But also efficiency is the next thing, so that we are not prolonging the process. We're trying to streamline, and I think Cloud Permit is allowing us to do that. Like I said, not without its speed bumps at the beginning, but to go from, overall average was 10.5 days, and it was probably longer in the first 6 months to, the past 2 months, we're down to about 5 business days on average to turn around a permit. And that's from the time it's submitted to the time it's issued, incorporating all the review time and the back and forth in the middle.
How many people actually are reviewing these requests?
It'd be 3 of us. 3 of us on the building side. The planning department also has 2 to 3 that are looking at it. So when we get a permit in, depending on what it is, for example, if it's a new house, planning will have to look at anything that expands the footprint or affects, anything on the actual parcel. planning has to be involved to ensure that the zoning meets all the zoning requirements. So planning has a review, and then on the building department, we have the review from the building code adherence. So building code adherence and then zoning ordinance adherence is what we're reviewing for. And then if it's in a historical, there's that process that has that. I'm not accounting for that because that has to go before historic review board.
Yeah, it's getting a lot better. We have a new, just quickly, we do, just so you, for the public's knowledge, and for Mr. Simmons' knowledge, you asked a good question and everyone's asking good questions. For commercial and industrial, we do a pre-develop, we do almost like we modeled it after, I believe Valpo and a couple other places where we do a pre-development meeting with all of our departments. That helps streamline a lot of it too before it even gets to permitting. So we're trying to, I think every step of the way is about solving problems, conflicts, issues, and really getting the best thing that we possibly can, especially with when it comes to subdivisions and or commercial industrial buildings, trying to get them as clean as we possibly can before they even get into cloud permit. And then that helps us speed up that process as well.
Right. And also what should be added to our city department website by end of the week is we've made quick kind of checklist sheets, quick reference sheets for different types of permit categories. So people can go and download, okay, what am I going to need to show on that drawing? It's just a way to help give them the information that they need so that they can provide us with good information and then get a quick turnaround on their permit time.
Any other comments from the board? Great questions. Want to make sure everyone gets their questions answered. Amber, do I need to open this up for public or it's just for update? No, I'm not.
It's an update. There's not a.
Thank you for the update. Well, first of all, any other questions from the board?
Thank you for the update.
Absolutely.
Yeah,
we appreciate it. Yeah, it's going to only get better.
Yep.
Absolutely.
Thank you.
Thank you. All righty, let's keep moving on. Oh, I've been waiting for this one. I'm sorry. Gotcha. Our next order is an update from this Forester on city tree projects.
Good evening. I'm Phil Graff, City Forester. I'm going to take you back to the end of 2023 when the city applied for grant funding, federal grant funding that stemmed from the Inflation Reduction Act, which was about a $32 billion grant that the federal government gave to the U.S. Forest Service to distribute out nationwide. So it was a $32 billion earmarked specifically for environmental initiatives, and in our case, urban forestry. So the city of Michigan City applied for that grant and found out late in 2023 that they received $1 million to put into our urban forestry program here in Michigan City. 2024 was a planning year, more or less. It started with the tree inventory that was done by me and my company, which was a study we did on the front end of it to find where the greatest need was for tree removal, reforestation, how we could best use the $1 million to impact the community in the greatest way. So 2024, that was what was mostly accomplished, was the tree inventory. There was also an aerial lift truck purchased by the city. 2025 was more of the year where the rubber meets the road, as they say, and we started to use our tree inventory as a management tool. We identified what needed to be removed, what needed, where the greatest need for trees, were to be replaced. And so, especially here in the second half of 2025, I'm assuming that everybody's could visibly see the change. But that was when most of the work has now been done. So about 55% of that $1 million has been spent here in the last 6 months. So we've had 275 of the worst city trees, the most high risk trees for failure have been removed. There's 75 left to do. And the deadline for that is December 31st. We do believe it will be done. It actually could be done as soon as Friday if everything goes smooth according to the contractor's reporting. The stumps from those trees might not be ground, but by December 31st. But Attorney LePage and I talked about maybe extending that deadline a little bit. As far as replanting trees, we planted 500 trees this fall. It was a huge program. It was one of the largest reforestation plans I've personally ever worked on, but we did very recently get it done. So those are trees that are going back in to replace the trees being removed so that we can, especially here in the future, retain all the great environmental services and all the benefits that trees give the community. So the tree removal and the tree reforestation were the biggest parts of that. Obviously, the tree inventory on the front end. There was also earlier today we talked about the watering. So we are required by the U.S. Forest Service to water all the trees that we planted for 2 years. So we've got a quote for what that's going to be the first year. I work pretty closely with Central Services and Vector Control to see if there was any way we could do that in-house. Cheaper so that we could, use that money to get more trees removed or more trees planted in the future. We were unable to do that. So as we voted here this evening, we'll be moving forward with having that watering done contractually as well. With some other costs, there was a workforce development line item in the grant that we used to have the arborist apprentice that the former forester had. And then there's a smaller amount of money for public outreach and education that I'm working with the president of the tree board to figure out how we're going to spend that in the future. But where we're at right now with my calculations, very rough calculations, I'll say, is somewhere around the $900,000 mark. So we're getting close to having depleted the funds. On Wednesday, I'll be meeting with Tamiko Smith and Drew Hart, who's our pass-through agent with the U.S. Forest Services coming in. We're going to go through that ledger and find out exactly where we're at and then start to strategize how we're going to spend the remaining balance next year, whether that be, continuing with some more of the high-priority tree removals or, I think that's probably what I'm going to recommend at this point because we've done a lot with tree planting and we've done a lot with the rest of this. So that's really where it's at. So I think it's been a great success. I think that the residents of Michigan City are finally starting to see all that come to fruition. And I think we've done some good work and we'll continue to do so over the next couple of years. So that's a lot there, I know, but that's my update.
That's great information. Questions of Mr. Graff about the trees? I know my neighborhood received a lot of trees that had a lot removed over the years, but the silver maples are just at the end of their lives. 500 trees, average mortality rate for something like that. There will be some that will not survive. What would be something? And then likewise, they'll replace them, correct?
Correct. Yeah, there's always some mortality rate, large scale tree plantings. Keep in mind too that street trees, which the majority of these were, that we did plant some trees in parks, but street trees have a higher mortality rate because they're dealing with such challenging spots to grow in.
Challenging spots, lots of other opportunities to get hit by cars, things,
road salt and everything else. Yeah, so it's expected to be about 10%, but we do have a 1-year warranty with the planting contractor.
That's not a bad percentage at all, I don't think. 5 to 500 trees, that's pretty amazing. That's awesome. Those were my only questions. So as long as we get them replaced, that'd be great. Other questions, Mr. Graff? It's not an easy task to plant that many trees, or water them. So we appreciate it.
Thanks.
I'll answer any questions. Okay. We appreciate the update. Thank you so much.
Yeah,
thank you for the good work.
You're welcome. Thanks.
Okay, moving on. Next order of business is a payrolls claims docket. Has everyone had time to review that? And if so, can I entertain a motion?
Motion to approve. Support.
Call for the vote. Mr. Simmons.
Aye.
Ms. Tisdale.
Aye.
Ms. Smith.
Aye.
Ms. Moore.
Aye.
Chair votes aye as well. Next order of business is our claims docket. This is for claims for December 15th, 2025. Everyone had time to review that. If so, can I entertain a motion?
Motion to approve. Support.
I'll call for the vote. Mr. Simmons,
Aye.
Ms. Tisdale, Ms. Smith,
Aye.
Ms. Moore.
Aye.
Chair votes aye as well. Alrighty, moving on to our unfinished business. Our only item on unfinished business is a request for road and railroad repair. Councilman Don Prespolinski is requesting the following: to put CSX railroad ties along Arthur Street back on the pending items list, which I think we've done. I think that should probably read to get rid of those ties, and to put repairs of CSX Railroad crossing at Buffalo. This was tabled from November 3rd, 2025. Any motion on that item, Mr. Engineer Warner? Any motion? That's all right. Okay. Don, did you send a letter? Yes, you did send a letter. Yes. Councilman Prespolinski.
Thank you. Yeah, and good evening, board members. Don Prespolinski, City Councilman, 215 Gardena Street. And that's one of the items last time I was here talking about this, and we got to put back on the agenda, was also to send a letter to the railroad asking them for these requests, but then also to send letters to all the board members and to me myself. So I would still like to have a letter of what you had sent to the railroad or whoever sent it. Yeah. Pardon?
Tim sent it.
Yeah, well, I'm just saying, but at that meeting, I had requested that, I get a copy of it and the board members get a copy of it. And I'm here today to see if there's been any response from the railroad yet and where we stand with this project. So is there any response?
I don't think so.
Tim Warner, City Engineer. It's been probably over 3 weeks since I sent my letter to CSX, and I have not gotten any response in the last 3 weeks. Not unexpected, I guess, but that's the case. I think I copied all of you. You saw the report and everything that was sent, and no response.
I think we were copied on it. I just remember you telling us you were gonna. I remember seeing it being sent, so I think I sent it to Isabel. Yeah.
I can provide you guys a copy with it.
Okay. Alrighty.
I just wanted to see what was going on with it.
Yep. Okay. And could you provide a copy to Councilman Prespolinski as well? Thank you.
Okay, thank you. All right.
Alrighty, we've moved on to our public comments section for the day. Any public comments at this time?
Yes, this is Tommy Kolovic from 1316 Ohio Street, and I have a public service announcement to make. It's that time again. Mayor Angie is going head-to-head with Mayor Dermody of LaPorte in the Battle of the Mayor's Bell Ringing Competition to raise money for the Salvation Army. This year, as usual, Mayor Angie will be raising money for the Salvation Army Michigan Civic Corps and Community Center, and Mayor Dermody for the Salvation Army of LaPorte. Of course, our mayors and cities may only be competing for annual bragging rights, but it's the citizens of LaPorte County who are the real winners in this friendly competition, and you can get in all the fun when you donate in any ways of the following. Stop by Al's Supermarket on between 9 a.m. and 6 p.m. on Friday, December 19th to donate to the Red Kettle. Stop by the mayor's office here at City Hall, 100 East Michigan Boulevard, between 8 a.m. and 4:30 p.m. on Friday, December 19th to donate to the Red Kettle. And probably the best way is to donate online anytime between now and Friday, December 19th. Thank you for your generosity and supporting our neighbors this holiday season. Of course, I want to wish you all a Merry Christmas and a Happy Hanukkah and a Happy Kwanzaa and Happy New Year. And I think we're going to have a great 2026. Thank you, everybody.
Thank you. Any other public comments?
Don Prespolinski, City Councilman. And I want to thank the City Forester for coming up and giving the report. I think it's you're doing a great job. and taking the bad trees down, putting the good trees in, putting new trees in. And one area that I would like to emphasize, because I've been trying to work on this area to get new trees put in, and that's when Mayor Sheila Brilson redid Franklin Street from Cruz Spring Ave up to 11th. There were many trees planted in there. Well, through the years, for whatever reason, disease, road salt, what have you, don't know if they're the right species to be planted in those areas, but there's been about, I want to say 10, 15 trees that have been cut down and never been replaced in those planter areas. They're the ones that have the grates on top of them, and they're by the brick structures that they have along the roadway. So if you guys could take a look at that and put new trees in there, I think that would beautify our main street of town and especially the Midtown area. So take that into consideration. I appreciate it. And also, Merry Christmas and Happy New Year, and look forward to working with everybody in 2026. Thank you.
Thank you. Any other public comments?
Hello, Scott Mellon, Turner County Place. Quickly, so on the tree grant, it's great. Love hearing the diseased trees are down and 500 trees got planted. If our watering bill is going to be $129K for 1 year and we need to water for 2 years and we've spent $900K of the $1 million, it sounds like we basically only have enough money left for the second year of watering. In fact, we might be a little short. So that seems to me we don't have any budget left for any more trees to be planted. I think so. A jaundiced way to look at this is that's $20,000 per tree. It's not exactly honest math, but 500 trees for $1 million is $20,000 a tree. I'd also point out on Franklin Street what what our councilman pointed out. Not only did they plant trees that need to be replaced, they planted invasive trees that aren't recommended to be planted by anybody. So it's kind of insane that we as a city planted Bartlett pears, and we planted 2 different species, I believe, there. But one of them is an invasive that is not recommended to be planted at all and should be replaced, of course. It was a nice report from the building department. I have nothing bad to say about Dave. I think he's done a great job getting that under control. I'd point out, it sounds like a massive number of permits, nearly 2,500. It comes out to a little more than 1 permit issued per hour for a working year. So as big as the number is, it's still relatively light as far as that goes. For new construction and commercial properties, we have no problem with the rigorous requirements of permitting. Where you've heard me speak in the past, it's more from a homeowner's viewpoint of rehabs and common simple things. Replacing a fence, replacing windows, replacing siding. And where that gets hung up is where are we, burying people in bureaucracy? A siding job. My nephew does siding. But if I have him doing it on my house and I file a permit, well, does he have workers' comp? Does he have insurance? It's like my nephew, he's going to put up some siding on the house. So do we overcomplicate things on the lower end that we should simplify? And I think that's where a lot of the complaints come from. Basically, regular people trying to do basic stuff. And what seems reasonable from a bureaucratic viewpoint and public safety can seem overdone, overwrought, and unnecessary to a consumer who just wants to replace their windows. Why should I mean, HVAC is a little more complicated, but I don't know. I know a lot of do-it-yourselfers. I don't know anybody who's installing their own furnace. It's all going to be done by a company. Why should people have to wait for these simple permits? These simple permits by our known contractors aren't construction. Other people who are known for window siding and doors, the basic stuff again, it should be a rubber stamp approval. If there's something wrong on inspection, well, this is a thing, and this is where it affects people. New construction, fine, go through all the rigmarole. For simple things, it should be simple and not so complicated. That's all. Thank you.
Thank you for your comments. Mr. Graff, you can respond. Absolutely. If you want some time, it's public comment. I think you want to clarify. How was about to clarify for you, but you're a forester. Go ahead.
I've got a 35-year career in urban forestry, but I actually have a mathematics degree, so I'd like to respond to some of the numbers that were thrown out there. It's a little off. So thank you for the comments about the, being happy with what's happened with the tree grant, and also thank you also, Councilman, for that. To clarify the tree watering numbers, first and foremost, the rough calculations that I gave you about $900,000 has already been spent. Perhaps I misspoke and misled this gentleman. That's money that we're actually accounting for after the tree watering is done. So we're absolutely in no jeopardy of running, having any kind of a budget overrun here. Yeah, we're not going to have a shortfall. There's no question about that. So the 2 years of watering is included in that 900,000. So the tree planting itself is $238,500 divided by the 500 trees was $450 a tree. That was a low bid. And then when you add the 260,000 of watering, that's 130 times 2 for the next 2 years, and divide it by 500 trees, it comes out to be $917 a tree, not $20,000 per tree. But I did happen to see some negative comments on social media regarding, the city planted 500 trees for $1 million. The comments of that nature, that doesn't include anything that was removed, the tree inventory, the bucket truck, the list goes on. So I just wanted to clarify that. Thank you.
Then one more thing, we didn't plant any invasive. I want to make sure we get this out so it's not misconstrued. There were no invasives planted. I know that you wouldn't do that.
There was no invasive trees planted during this tree planting. I think those comments were regarding the Franklin Street project that
just want to clarify.
Councilman was talking about. And if that was done in 2009, it was a good 15 years before even the calorie pears were considered invasive. So, and those were planted across the nation.
They were the silver maple of the newer.
No, there's no invasive species have been planted in Michigan City knowingly by anyone. So
perfect. Thank you so much for clarifying. Any other public comments? Any other public comments? Anything online? All right, I'm gonna close public comments. Any board comments? Any board comments?
Yes, I would like to wish everyone a Merry Christmas and a happy holidays and Godspeed.
I would like to do the same. Merry Christmas, Michigan City, and happy holidays. Anything? Entertain a motion to adjourn?
Motion to adjourn.
Here's a second. All those in favor? All right.